Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town. Chicago, Chicago, I'll show you around. Bet your bottom dollar you lose the blues in Chicago. Chicago, the town that Marty Fay could not shut down. On State Street, that great street, I just want to say, they do things that they don't do on Broadway. Say, they have the time of their life. I saw a man, he danced with his wife in Chicago, hometown. The time of their life. I saw a man, he danced with his wife in Chicago. In Chicago. In Chicago.
This is a picture, it's a very interesting picture because it is a picture of my grandmother, Niger, and her husband, John Niger, and there's our mom, who looks like she was about 20.
And she's a flapper there.
A flapper in her early 20s, but it also has her two brothers, so it's John Niger and Henry Niger, and that must have taken place in Rock Island, Illinois, and in the 1920s at some point. And the next picture I'm looking at is the same group of people with the same clothes on it. The same clothes on, so it was taken at the same time. There's my grandfather, John Joseph Niger. Oh, and here's more pictures. Here's a picture of Nana Niger, and this is my and Richard's mother with the bow around her head, and this child right here with the long curls, believe it or not, is her brother with the long curly hair. And here's my mother with her pet chicken, turkey. Can someone tell me what this animal is?
No.
I think it's my mother with her pet rooster or pet chicken that they had because they lived in a rather rural community. And here's a picture of, I think, my grandfather and grandmother Nana Niger in a horse and buggy in a small, probably was in a small rural community in Illinois where they lived, maybe Virginia, the town of Virginia, Illinois. And Richard is looking through more pictures, looking for old pictures.
Jeanette Ball at a later date.
Oh, and here's a picture of Ginger Weise, Jeanette Ball, whom I've been advised is over 100 and is still alive. And there's another person in the picture whom I don't recognize. Some years ago, and Richard can help with the time frame, we all went to visit Clyde Weise, and Clyde Weise, as I recall, lived on a farm in Bureau County, Illinois. And Clyde Weise, I'm not even sure what relative he was. Was he a relative of?
He was a cousin of our Uncle Will Weise.
Okay, cousin of Uncle Will. We went to visit Clyde Weise on his farm. Richard and Ginger, Ann and I, and Tim just said Julie went there too. And Clyde Weise was quite a character. And The only thing I can remember about it, I can remember two things. They had a collection in their living room of mostly plastic Donald Ducks sitting on a display case, a full display case with nothing in it but plastic Donald Duck figures. And Clyde Outdoors had 3 or 4, I'm sure they were German Shepherds, that were lunging at us, chained, thank goodness, and lunging at us. And Clyde said out loud to Richard and to me, don't try to pet the dogs. And I can't recall Richard's remark at the time, but I can guarantee you it was priceless. And it was something to the effect of, don't worry, Clyde. Now I'll let Richard take over from there.
Our trip to visit Clyde Weise, and our first introduction and our last to him, consisted of a visit required of us by our Uncle Will Weise, because Clyde Weise was trying to connect some genealogy with his side of the family and wanted to talk to us. Clyde Weise had a daughter there, present while we were there, by the name of Penny Weise. I was looking around for her brother, whose name probably is not Pound Foolish, but we did spend a nice afternoon with them, having the opportunity of these dogs lunging at us at the end of chains and worrying from time to time that the chain would break.
That's true.
Now, what was Clyde's relation?
Clyde was Will Wise's, my father's brother, Will Wise's cousin.
And?
A farmer. A farmer of, I'm sure, a number of useful things, but one of them appeared to be marijuana. And that was why he kept these dogs, to keep the mischief makers away from his marijuana crop.